having a labor that's been struggling, or it's hard, or you know something's already going to happen, like if there's a cleft palate or something like that, you're going to already anticipate a lower apgar, and that's okay too. A low apgar is nothing to be afraid of, but a healthy baby, healthy pregnancy, apgar is going to come out about 6 to 7, and then they just want to see that improve at 5 minutes. So they'll do that, and they won't even really tell you they're doing it. You can ask them. They'll be saying, apgar 5, you know, or apgar 7, and you'll be like, oh, they learned that in class. But it is just something kind of interesting, but you'll be so wrapped up in seeing that newborn that it really doesn't matter. And so at this point, what's happening to mama? You're still lying there on the table, on the bed, which sort of turns into a table at this point, but placenta is slowly delivered. They will massage your uterus, and they'll get a little tug when you have a contraction on the cord that's coming out. And basically, you might feel a little tug, you might feel your belly being massaged, and you wait to have a contraction and told to push the placenta out, and it's nothing compared to what you just pushed out. But they do, and then they do sometimes give you a dose of Pitocin, because that will get the uterus contracting, and then that placenta moves out a little easier. Then they really look at it to make sure that all the pieces are out, because the last thing you want is something stuck in there, because then you're talking about potentially hemorrhaging, okay? So they'll really look at it closely, and if you want to look at it, you can look at it too. It's pretty neat. You grew this thing, so. And if you're someone who wants to take it home, you get 7 days. It has to stay in the hospital for 7 days, and then you can take it to one of the several people in town who encapsulate placenta. You guys want, yeah. You can decide if you want to do it or not. People who do it say that they get a real burst of energy from taking the supplement from their placenta. I grew up on cattle ranch, and I have to say that about 1/3 of the cattle eat their placenta right after birth. And then the rest of them don't. They leave it for the dogs to get. So, and then, the way some people look at it is that you grew this placenta, it took a lot of energy out of you in that first trimester when you were growing it, and then you can get it back. If you want names for people who do that, I have those. Not the people who eat it, the people who have it. Okay. Some people like to plant a tree on top of it. You know, it's whatever you want to do, but if you want it, you have to let them know. Otherwise, they will discard it. Okay, almost done.
How long's the baby purple for? Like, how's that color transition? How long does that take?
Not long,
okay.
Hopefully, yeah. So baby can come out pretty good looking. A lot of times they have what's called vernix on them, which is like a white, waxy substance, and that's to protect them from being in the water for the last 9 months. But a normal looking baby will come out, and Anna will talk all about what to expect. But they'll get their color in about 5 to 10 minutes. And that is one of the things they check on the apgar, I believe. So, but it can be a little alarming. And sometimes they're really purple on their feet and hands for a while longer. So, but that's a good question. Do you guys have any questions? I'm kind of zipping through it. Okay. Just let me know at the end, and I'm happy to stay longer. When people go, I'm happy to stay and answer questions. You might get stitches if you had any tears. I think our doctors are very good about making sure everything goes slowly. What you don't want is this baby to slide right out and then to tear everything. What is happening when the baby's head is coming out is it's going out and then it's going back in, and it's going out and it's going back in, and then eventually it stays out for a little bit longer. And it can be so frustrating as doulas and dads to watch that baby go back in. And you're like, okay, let's keep going. But what's happening, and this is the big picture, is that everything is stretching out. So if it just powered right out, the likelihood of tearing is much greater than if you let everything get stretched out. So dads, as you're getting frustrated, remember, long-term benefits, there's less tearing, all that stuff. So you want that to take a little bit of time. It can be frustrating for moms too, but at the moment you're not really totally tuned into all that stuff. So you could get stitches. They will numb you with a little topical shot before they do the stitches, just like you get with a cavity, so you don't feel that. And OB will do this while you're with the baby. You hardly know what's going on. Okay? Holy cow, that is the end of that page. So, that means the class is over. And if you guys do want to, let me take a little bit, self-care during pregnancy, I just add this for mamas to look at, just to see how well you are taking care of yourself, because you can get really busy and caught up. I just want you to get a little idea of how well you're taking care of each other, or yourself. A little picture of what's going on and why everything is all squished around and why you feel the way you do, because it is all squished around. Just here's some pictures of the cervix. Here's our tiny contraction chart. Birth, helpers, labor outline. Just something for you dads to look at. An active labor versus practice labor. And then my lovely hippie drawings from my hippie curriculum that I got. So, okay. So like I said, I'm happy to stay and answer any questions that you guys might have. Otherwise, you're free to get out of here, and I will see you next week.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
What's the word on, or what, can you like take a break while you're pushing? Or
Your
when
body
somebody's telling
doesn't-
you like, you have to push right now and you can't say no, or how does
Your body doesn't really want to take a break.
Okay.
But here's the great thing, and I did not actually say this, but I'm so glad you mentioned it. Our contractions during pushing actually are 3 to 5 minutes apart. So the transition contractions are one right on top of each other. So they're 60 to 90 seconds apart. Good. During pushing, they're 3 to 5 minutes. So you do get a little natural break.
Okay.
And a lot of women actually fall asleep in between. Yeah. And then they wake up when they feel it, and then they push again.
Okay.
But yeah, you probably don't want to have too many contractions go by that you're not pushing. And you're not going to feel like that either.
Okay.
Yeah, but you could, you know, they'll say, let's do a few practice, and the nurses kind of go, and you're like, wait, and all they know is that nothing's really happening yet, but you just keep pushing.
Okay.
And if you're doing it right, then things are going to keep moving. And when you don't want to take a break is if you have and we're going to talk about this, if you have a vacuum or a forceps, and that's when, if the doctor's telling you to push, you push. Yeah, but we'll talk about that next week. What else? Anything? Like I said, I'm happy to stay and answer any individual questions. So just want to make sure you guys go on time and get out of here when you need to get out of here, as I promised. Okay?
Any questions? Yeah, bro?
It's a lot of information. I'm warning you guys. Yeah. Did you write it to Anna Blakesley? Yep. If you're writing a check tonight, you can write it to Anna Blakesley. If